There are moments in life when everything seems to fall apart. You try so hard, yet nothing works. People disappoint you, plans fail, and your own mind turns against you. You wake up tired, not from lack of sleep, but from fighting battles that never seem to end. In those moments, it feels like the world is testing you beyond your limits. But what if I told you that strength is not found in avoiding pain, but in mastering how you respond to it? Because the mind that can defeat anything isn't one that never falls. It's one that never stays down. If you're on a journey of growth, self-discipline, and unshakable peace, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Now, let's dive deep into what truly builds a mindset that nothing can break. Number 1, the power of inner control. A mindset that can defeat anything begins with understanding control, the cornerstone of Stoicism. The world will always test you. Unexpected losses, betrayal, rejection, and pain will come. But the Stoic understands that none of these are truly under their control. What is under your control is your response, your thoughts, and your attitude toward what happens. This simple truth separates those who suffer twice, once from pain and once from resistance, from those who suffer once and rise stronger. When you stop trying to control everything outside you, you start controlling everything inside you. You stop being reactive to life and start responding with clarity. That's when you begin to taste real freedom, the kind that doesn't depend on money, approval, or circumstances. You realize that power is not about bending the world to your will. It's about bending your will to face the world. This is why Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. You can't defeat life with resistance, but you can with calm acceptance. Because peace is not the absence of problems. It's the ability to stay centered while facing them. A calm mind, rooted in control, becomes unstoppable. If someone insults you, you have control over your reaction. If life becomes uncertain, you control your response. If everything falls apart, you can still choose how you interpret it. That's real power, invisible but indestructible. It's how a Stoic builds a mind that can't be defeated. So, ask yourself, do you let life control you, or do you control your mind within life? The answer to that question determines whether you merely survive or truly live. Number 2, turning pain into power. Pain is not your enemy. It's your greatest teacher. Every great mind, every strong soul was shaped by pain. The Stoics knew this deeply. Seneca wrote that fire tests gold, and adversity tests the brave. When you stop running from discomfort and start learning from it, you stop living in fear. The truth is, no one escapes pain. But what defines you is what you do with it. A weak mind breaks under pain. A strong mind bends but never snaps. It understands that suffering is the forge of character. When life hurts, the Stoic doesn't ask, "Why me?" but "What is this teaching me?" Every heartbreak, every setback, every disappointment is a test, not of your situation, but of your strength. The person who can sit with pain without seeking distractions or pity is already powerful, because they're no longer ruled by their emotions. They rule them. They know that avoiding pain leads to weakness, while facing it builds resilience. When your mindset transforms pain into wisdom, the world loses its power to defeat you. Don't run from suffering, study it. Don't curse it, use it. The pain that you endure consciously becomes a form of inner armor. It teaches patience, humility, and self-mastery. You start realizing that what once hurt you now strengthens you. And that's when you begin to win battles most people can't even fight. Pain will always exist, but the wise don't let it define them. They let it refine them. And that's the kind of mindset that can walk through hell without burning. Number 3, detachment, the shield of the strong. A mind that can defeat anything is not attached to outcomes. Most people suffer because they cling too tightly to success, to love, to comfort, to control. But attachment creates fear, and fear weakens you. The Stoic knows that everything is temporary. Your possessions, your status, your body, even the people you love. This isn't meant to make you cold. It's meant to make you strong. Detachment doesn't mean not caring. It means caring without losing yourself. It's the ability to give your best without depending on the result. When you practice detachment, failure loses its sting and success loses its illusion. You begin to see life for what it is, a flow, not a possession. Epictetus said, "When you kiss your child, whisper to yourself, they may not be here tomorrow." It sounds dark, but it's liberating. Because when you accept impermanence, nothing can shock you. You become unbreakable because you no longer demand that life must go your way. You learn to move with the current, not against it. This detachment gives you presence, the ability to live now, not in fear of losing or craving more. You do what must be done, accept what must be accepted, and release what must be released. The more you let go, the lighter and stronger your mind becomes. A detached mind cannot be manipulated, controlled, or destroyed because it stands on truth, not illusion. That's how you build a mindset that no storm can shake. Number 4, discipline, the foundation of strength. You can't build a strong mind without discipline. Discipline is the bridge between your emotions and your actions. It's the daily practice of doing what is right, not what is easy. Most people are slaves to impulse, comfort, and distraction. But the Stoic understands that true freedom comes from self-control. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you train your mind to obey your will instead of your feelings. That's how warriors are made, not in moments of glory, but in quiet moments of consistency. Wake up early when you don't feel like it. Speak calmly when you want to shout. Keep working when your motivation dies. These small moments build the unshakable foundation of a Stoic mind. Seneca once said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Discipline gives you that proof that you can endure, focus, and persist no matter how you feel. That kind of power is not emotional, it's spiritual. When your discipline becomes stronger than your emotions, your life changes. You start to act with purpose, not reaction. You stop being tossed around by laziness, fear, or doubt. You become stable, and stability is rare in a world addicted to comfort. The disciplined mind doesn't need external validation or short-term pleasure. It thrives on progress, on mastery, on self-respect. And that's the foundation of a mindset that can face any hardship and still move forward. Number 5, faith in the process of life. A mindset that can defeat anything is built on trust, not blind optimism, but faith in the process of life. The Stoic understands that everything happens for a reason, even if the reason is hidden. You might not understand why you lost something today, but one day you'll see that it was preparing you for something greater. This faith gives you peace when things go wrong. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start thinking, "What is life showing me?" You trust that even the hardest moments are shaping you, humbling you, strengthening you. Life is not against you, it's refining you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." That's the mindset of a person who cannot be defeated. They see obstacles as lessons, not curses. They understand that everything, even pain, failure, and loss, is part of the journey toward wisdom. Faith doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means embracing it with courage. You don't need to know how everything will turn out. You just need to trust that you'll be strong enough to face whatever comes. And with that kind of trust, fear loses its grip. When you combine control, pain, detachment, discipline, and faith, you create a mind that cannot be broken. A mind that walks through chaos with calm. That's not just strength, that's mastery. And once you reach that point, you don't just survive life, you transcend it. Number 6, the art of emotional mastery. A strong mindset doesn't silence emotions, it understands them. Stoicism never taught emotional suppression. It taught emotional mastery. The person who feels deeply but acts wisely is far stronger than the one who feels nothing. Emotional strength comes from awareness, not avoidance. You can feel anger, sadness, and fear without letting them control you. When your emotions stop dictating your behavior, your mind becomes your greatest ally, not your worst enemy. Most people lose control the moment they feel pain. They react before they reflect. They let a temporary emotion cause permanent damage. But the Stoic mind observes first. It allows the storm to pass before making a decision. Marcus Aurelius said, "You will find rest if you do not look outside yourself for it." That rest comes from not fighting your emotions, but mastering them, acknowledging what you feel, understanding why you feel it, and then choosing how to act. Emotional mastery is like standing in the middle of a burning room and breathing calmly. You don't run. You assess, you endure, you overcome. You understand that anger weakens clarity, fear clouds logic, and impulsivity destroys peace. When you gain control over your emotions, no insult, no rejection, no betrayal can shake your center. To master your emotions, you must first learn to pause. That small moment between stimulus and response is where your power lives. In that pause, you choose wisdom over reaction, composure over chaos. You transform from a slave of emotions into their commander. The world can defeat anyone who reacts blindly, but it cannot defeat the one who acts with calm precision. Emotional mastery turns your heart into armor, soft enough to feel, yet strong enough to never shatter. Number 7, the strength of self-reliance. A mindset that can defeat anything depends on no one for validation, strength, or peace. The Stoic learns early that self-reliance is not loneliness, it's liberation. When your happiness depends on others, you hand them the power to destroy you. But when you rely on your own mind, discipline, and values, no one can take your peace away. Self-reliance begins when you stop seeking permission to be strong. You stop waiting for others to understand you or cheer you on. You build your life on principles, not popularity. You learn to stand alone when necessary, not with bitterness, but with confidence. Seneca once wrote, "The wise man is content with himself." This doesn't mean arrogance. It means completeness. It means you no longer beg for external validation to feel worthy. When you cultivate self-reliance, you start trusting your judgment more than the crowd's opinion. You stop comparing, stop chasing approval, and start focusing on growth. You realize that solitude is not emptiness. It's space to think, to rebuild, and to strengthen your spirit. The strongest minds in history, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Socrates, all found strength within themselves, not in the noise of the world. Self-reliance also means taking responsibility. You don't blame others for your pain, your failures, or your circumstances. You take full ownership because ownership gives you power. When you own your life completely, no one else can manipulate your direction. You become a fortress of self-trust. And when you reach that state, you don't just survive solitude, you thrive in it. That's the essence of a mindset that can defeat anything. It needs no external foundation to stand tall. Number 8, the calm within chaos. When the world around you collapses, your strength is measured by your ability to remain calm. Chaos doesn't destroy you, panic does. A Stoic mind trains itself to be still even when everything outside screams for reaction. True composure is not pretending that everything is fine. It's understanding that panic solves nothing. Calmness gives you clarity, and clarity gives you control. Life will throw storms at you: betrayal, failure, loss, uncertainty. The untrained mind will drown in emotion, but the calm mind watches the storm with detachment, observing rather than collapsing. Marcus Aurelius compared life to wrestling, not dancing. You can't predict your opponent's next move, but you can stay balanced and ready. Calmness is that balance. You become unstoppable when you can stay steady under pressure. Not because life is easier for you, but because you've learned to find peace in motion. Even in chaos, you remember, this too shall pass. The Stoic doesn't pray for easier days, they pray for stronger minds. That's why calmness is not a weakness. It's an active display of power. When you remain calm, people notice. Your silence becomes louder than their noise. Your patience becomes more powerful than their aggression. You become the still point in a spinning world. This mental steadiness turns chaos into opportunity, because only a calm mind can think clearly when everyone else is losing control. Calmness is not the absence of emotion, it's the control of it. And when you master calmness, you master life itself. Number 9, the courage to face fear. Fear is the oldest and most persuasive enemy of the mind. It whispers that you're not ready, not good enough, not strong enough. But the Stoic understands that fear is not to be avoided. It's to be confronted. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to move forward despite it. When you face your fears, you take back your power. Fear thrives in avoidance. The more you run, the more it grows. But when you face it head on, it starts to lose its grip. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Most fears are mental projections, illusions that seem bigger because we keep feeding them. A Stoic dismantles fear by observing it. They ask, what am I really afraid of? And more often than not, the answer reveals that the fear was an illusion all along. When you confront fear, your confidence expands. You realize that almost every moment you thought would destroy you is survivable. You learn that fear is a liar that protects your comfort, but imprisons your potential. The moment you do what you fear, you grow beyond it. And once you've done that enough times, your mindset becomes indestructible. The Stoic doesn't pray for the disappearance of fear. They pray for the strength to act through it. Because courage is not about recklessness. It's about conscious defiance. It's choosing to face uncertainty, trusting your preparation and your inner calm. A fearless mind is not one that never trembles. It's one that trembles and moves forward anyway. And that kind of courage builds a mindset that truly can defeat anything. Number 10, living with purpose and meaning. The strongest mindset is not built on mere toughness. It's built on purpose. Without purpose, even the strongest will eventually crumble. The Stoics believed that a meaningful life gives suffering direction. When you know why you're enduring, no hardship can break you. Viktor Frankl, deeply influenced by Stoicism, wrote that those who have a why to live can bear almost anyhow. Purpose gives your pain a reason. It turns your suffering into growth and your struggles into stepping stones. When you live without purpose, every difficulty feels like punishment. But when you have a mission, something higher than comfort or ego, every difficulty becomes training. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start saying, this is happening for me. Living with purpose means aligning your actions with your values. It means waking up each day with intention, not confusion. Marcus Aurelius woke every morning reminding himself of his duty, to serve, to think, to act justly. That's what gave his reign meaning even in chaos. Purpose gives the mind direction, and a directed mind cannot be broken by distractions or setbacks. When you know who you are and what you stand for, nothing can move you off your path. You become centered, decisive, and patient. Every pain becomes part of your evolution, every obstacle part of your story. You no longer chase pleasure, you chase progress. Purpose gives your life depth. It gives your soul armor. And once you live with that kind of meaning, your mind stops being something life can defeat. It becomes something life respects. Everything you face in this life, every loss, betrayal, and moment of despair is a test of your mind. Not of your strength, not of your luck, but of your mindset. Life will always find ways to humble you, but it can never truly break you unless you surrender your inner power. And that's what Stoicism teaches us. No matter what happens, the mind remains yours. A mindset that can defeat anything isn't built overnight. It's forged through silence, pain, and practice. It's shaped into moments when no one's watching. When you choose control over chaos, patience over panic, wisdom over impulse. It's not about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming unshakable. It's not about escaping the storms. It's about learning to walk through them calmly. The Stoics never sought an easy life. They sought strength, clarity, and peace within themselves. That's the secret. Life doesn't get easier, you get stronger. And the more you train your mind to accept what is, endure what must be, and act with virtue, the less power the world has over you. So when life pushes you to the edge, stand firm. When everything around you falls apart, stay grounded. Remember that calmness is not weakness, detachment is not coldness, and discipline is not punishment. They're the weapons of a free mind. A mind that has learned to master itself will never be mastered by anything else. Because in the end, the greatest victory is not conquering the world, it's conquering yourself. And when you do that, there is nothing left that can defeat you.